All right, everyone, welcome back for another episode of Carnivore Trades. Today is Friday, May 24th, 2024. If you've not done so already, please give the video a thumbs up, like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Find me on carnivoretrades.com for swing trading alerts, analysis, and live day trading. Again, don't forget about the flash sale till June 13th, site-wide. All services have some pretty blockbuster deals on them. Again, details in the Twitter pinned tweet at Aaron Basile. Anyway, let's get into it here today. So markets, they didn't crash. What happened? So I know we had a big red candle yesterday, and there was a lot of top colors out there, but markets are holding up all right. So again, we back tested the previous all-time high yesterday and held, and we tested the inside bar low there yesterday, and that held. And you can see it on the SPY too if you follow the SPY. 525.18, close 525.96, and well above the all-time high there, previous all-time high, I should say. So good back check. A couple of things I noticed this morning. By the way, the GEX here, I kind of figured we were just going to go, kind of gap and go today. 5,300, right? So right up there. That's likely where we're going to close unless we get a little exogenous move. There is, always some end-of-day positioning, end-of-week positioning, stuff like that can happen, obviously, in the last half hour. But I think we're going to be mostly pinned here. But again, good sell yesterday. Nice pullback. I was on here. I said very explicitly all week long, I don't think we've done enough to break out, because I know NVDA, everybody's calling for that to be the catalyst. But if we try to break out, it's going to be short-lived, and that's exactly what happened. I think we need to base for another day or two at least, and then I think we can push up to new highs. Again, the 20 moving average just not caught up to price yet. That's like the tide, right? So you gotta come back to that, and then once that happens, you can go higher. That's usually how it works, and that's why we came in so sharply yesterday. So a little gap and crap, but market's holding up. Again, I saw a lot of top colors out there. New bear market, recession, depression, this, that, and the other thing, inflation, the Fed, all this stuff. But, we're holding up right now. So till that trend changes or support fails, I'm going to defer to the trend, which is up. So again, market's holding up okay, and no problems. A couple of things I noticed today right off the bat too. IWM up just under 1%, but just noticing like subtle things, right? The little pullback here we had in the morning and the steepness of that pattern intraday versus the spiders. Right, so that kind of like fourth candle there on the 10-minute, a little bit of a pullback here as the IWM was firm up near the highs. IWM showing relative strength, Q's showing lots of relative strength, and NVIDIA is only up, it's up 2% now, but really all day it was only up like 0.5% to 1%. So we had strength yesterday today in Broadcom, TSM. Look at AMD today, Intel with a nice rebound, SMCI, ARM. So all getting good bounces here. I mentioned those. I highlighted those specifically yesterday, saying like a little bit of a problem here that these were so weak, and NVIDIA was holding up the whole market. Where we saw I'm sure everybody saw the heat map yesterday, where it was NVIDIA and then everything else was red, like literally everything, except for I think there was like one other like IT company or something that was green, but and then Broadcom was flat. But good to see that the SMH is basically at all-time highs and just off the all-time high, and it's going to close the week above that red bar without NVIDIA really helping, at least today anyway. So there were some questions about it. Yesterday, if we sold off today, we certainly would have closed below that. Looking at the SOX too, a little bit more balanced. It may close below that red bar, 52.17. It's close, but it's holding up. The double top, again, it may need to bake in the oven a little bit longer, but again, a lot better price action, and markets look okay. So again, Q's outperforming, IWM outperforming. It's not going to be bearish. Pulling back on light volume, that's not going to be bearish. 99 times out of 100. And the same thing here. Look at this, 26.4 million shares at 330. Is that light or is that light? So again, big boys, they're on vacation, right? They're it's Hampton season now. They're going to go and spend $1,000 on a little thing of caviar this big, right? That they're doing that. They're not here trading, and again, markets are holding up okay. So defer to the trend until proven otherwise. And I think we are going to have a pretty good summer here for the markets. So, all right, Qs here. Again, got a little stretched yesterday and just kind of grinding up. It's really, I mean, again, it could maybe use a little bit more consolidation. I don't like it when you do this type of thing. Like it's not really like a bull flag because it's like steepening. I don't love that. I would prefer it just to flatten out a little bit more. But again, it's holding up fine and there's no problems here. The NQ and the QQQ, in case you guys are following, either of them, that's going to close above that weekly high. QQQ well above it. ES is like right on it. So 53.33. It doesn't look like we'll get above that by the end of this week, but again, no problems here with either of those. You still got that bull flag look. So, but Qs looking pretty good here, good rebound, and as long as they're leading, no problems. IWM again, good bounce. The weekly chart looks a lot better than it did yesterday, looking a lot more like a test candle. I'm going to get rid of this trend line because I don't think it's very relevant. We've traded through it too much. So getting rid of that. Dow a little bit on the weaker side. So that is flat to lower. Again, I'm not really that concerned with the Dow as long as the NASDAQ and the Russell are leading. This is price cap weighted. And if anything, the Dow down with the NASDAQ up means money is leaving safety stocks to go into risk. So not a problem there for the Dow, but it did back off here. Semis we already talked about, but good close on the SMH, good weekly close. IGV, this was down a little bit today because of workday. So workday got pounded, absolutely pounded here. And workday definitely a little weak here. So breaking through that trend line. Let me just check on levels on this. I haven't really looked at it that much. Yeah, you're right into the 50% fib. But this is coming down on volume, so that may have a little bit lower to go, maybe down to the 618 around 200. That would actually be a good area for this. Yeah, if it got down there, I'd be interested in workday. And then we also had Intuit that got hit as well, down to the 6 handle. But that's holding on right now, nothing terrible. But IGV did come in, but I like how it came off the lows, and you're going to hold that green bar by the end of the day on the daily. So no real problems here. It just kind of makes it a little cloudy with that trend line. Again, I talked about that a week ago, but I love we close above that red. That's always a good sign on a weekly too. Dow Transport's still the weak link, still very weak here, only up 18 basis points. I know every bear in the world is pointing to this, but this has been sideways for 3 years, and we've had a bear market and we've had a bull market inside of that, regardless of what the transports have done. So again, as long as the Qs are leading, as long as the Russell is leading, I'm not going to worry too much about the transport. It's in the back of my mind. I'm definitely making note of it, but just defer to that trend. Rates here, so 2-year actually held up okay, but we had, Michigan came out today and it was revised down, or excuse me, durable goods was revised down, I believe, and then Michigan was revised, well, not revised, but it actually missed. So I don't know how they, Houdini'd that number up. I mean, you guys know I'm not thinking that inflation's going anywhere. But, it came in and maybe it's just because of lower gas prices. I don't know. But either way, the 2-year, still holding up today despite that weaker print. The long end of the curve came down just a little bit here. I'm watching this level here. So the 30-year is going to hold that bear inside bar on the daily. Above that, though, we can push up on rates. So the long end of the curve is a little bit different here, but the short end still holding up. And if we push through 495, you get to 5. You get through that, then it's really problematic for the market. But right now, rates are relatively under control here, and until that changes, I think the market's fine. XHP here managing to carve out a little gain. So again, kind of saving it on the weekly a little bit, kind of saving that trend line there. Again, no real problems, just some consolidation here. It does have a lower high, but again, your trend is up. This can just consolidate and then push up higher. It's had a big run, so XHP maybe needs to back off here on the bigger time frames. But again, decent pullback here over the last week. VNQ up fractionally. I still don't like this chart. I don't even have a level for it, honestly. Maybe 80, 81. That's just a short-term level. XLF, again, backing off this week, getting a bounce today. Again, nothing terrible here. We are going to close back below that level, so that's your only real problem. But, I mean, we made new all-time closing highs last week. So, nothing terrible. KRE was on the weaker side today. So that's still in a little bit of a weak spell. Same thing with KBE, but again, weekly still has room for higher lows. And if this actually fully breaks out of this inside bar, it can squeeze up. Broker dealers, again, right back up today, holding all moving averages. The only thing that's wrong with this is it's parabolic on the monthly. So broker dealers still acting well. Oil here, oil held up. I didn't see this coming today. I actually caught a buy signal on a scanner this morning on oil. I did not take it. It would have just been a day trade level anyway, but you did have a little RSI divergence. I didn't catch that yesterday. I talked about being a little bearish on oil yesterday. Did a little RSI divergence and hey, it caught a bid here. So it's still holding up. Again, there's still a lot of chunk here that's got to get eaten through if it wants to go lower. But again, 74 is the level here in the short term on the downside. But 80 has been resistance, right? Every time, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times we hit it, it gets rejected. If it can hold up, again, it can still go back up here and back test this line. But outside, I don't like breaking that trend line, especially on a weekly close too. And on the weekly, guess what? What's that? Down move, 1, 2, 3, sideways, not good. But right now, holding up. XLE not holding up, down 3 cents. Again, maybe it closes green here, but again, not a great look. And it looks like it wants to inch lower. So you'll have some support around here, these moving averages, 100 and 200. I still love this. I mean, I think this is the big level, though. If we can get down there, I'd like that. XOP, same thing, around 140, 142. OIH, we're just going to say buy zone between 290 and 300 for now. But energy definitely pulling back. CCJ getting a bit here. Again, this is still holding up. Up move, pop, pull back, and then a pop. Weekly chart looking like it's trying to be on breakout. Again, a fractionally red week this week, but there's nothing terribly wrong with that. Same thing, URNM and URNJ. These are still holding up really well. Nat gas pulling back today. Good outside move finally. So this may be done here. So we just had our first outside move in a while, right? We just wiped out really the whole week. So we got a red week on nat gas actually. Yeah, look at that tail. Man, I really wish it just got to 320. I was really hoping for that on that end contract. That would have been such a monster, right? I gave you guys that level too. I know some of the people in the trading room jumped on it a little early. So obviously they just made bank, which is nice. It gave out kind of this area here above 3 on the end. That's a monster. I don't know if you guys trade nat gas futures, but that's a monster move. That's a monster profit there. But yeah, it's pulling back here. We'll look at I'd say 260 on the end, maybe the higher low, and then you have the 20 MA upsloping there. So right in that area could be a buy setup. Again, this does tend to trade up into about the first to second week of June. So again, we could get one more little uptick there, drop and pop. But right now, nat gas pulling back, good outside move there on all contracts. Anyway, dollar index here, again, bearish inside bar, holding on the daily. So DXY is still bearish here on the daily. 105 still resistance. The weekly is conflicting though because you are bullish still. So DX, until you break below 103.88 on a weekly close, this is still bullish. But daily just kind of walking down right now. It's funny. It looks kind of a lot like XLE, doesn't it? Positive correlation there, perhaps. All right, gold here. Still doing some backing and filling. A little bit of a double top there, M top. But on the weekly, it's nothing wrong, really. I mean, the engulfing reversal, big deal. So, it's fine. Look at the spacing. It's starting to space out those moving averages. That tells you the trend is strengthening. The move has legs. And again, you guys, we watch this channel, you know what I'm talking about. If we just catch up to that 20 MA and we're going sideways, we're going to blast off to 3K. So gold holding up, silver holding up, down 15 cents. I had people crying about it, like, dude, it's up 30% since like the end of February. Like it's gonna have a pullback. Relax, it'll be okay. Just buy the next dip. Where is that? Well, you got some support at 30, but maybe 29 would be your next level. So keep an eye on that. Mine are still holding up just fine. There's SIL, GDX, they're fine right now. Platinum, It didn't get to my 20 MA. I was hoping for that. If it gets there on Monday, I could be tempted. The problem with platinum is it's thin, and sometimes these moving averages don't work like they should. But I like how the moving averages are separating. You have the 20 above the 50, 50 above the 100, 100 above the 200 for the first time. What, since right here? So that was the last time there when we had that kind of, we were still in a pretty good downtrend then, but right now on the weekly, good. I like how we're curling up, higher lows. So the daily's starting to firm up, and then the monthly here, you're trying to pull those moving averages apart. But yeah, looks all right. It's doing some backing and filling, and you see it continue to firm up and continue to put in higher lows on the weekly, and I think it's good. But anyway, it bounced today. It might get a bounce at the 20. Palladium's still the laggard, and it's still struggling, but again, you guys know I like it. Copper here, this could get a bid early next week off that 20 MA. That was the setup last time. I day traded this, and I wish I just held a tiny runner. I would have been retired by now on those futures. I mean, $1 on copper futures is massive. If you know the tick value, it's just ridiculous. So same setup though, 20 MA after an extended move. It's already so extended though. I don't know if it's going to bid here, but usually when you go parabolic like that, the first pullback is bought, right? The first pullback is bought because it's got that momentum, and buyers are waiting for that. They're dying for a dip here. By the way, monthly, see that? Be watching that, because that could be a monthly rejection. Just be aware. But copper's just, it's just had such a run, right? It got really one-sided. But usually the first, dip or so is bought. You'll get a lower high. But again, around 460, I think it's interesting anyway. Big levels, 425. We got down there. I would definitely look at that for a bigger bounce. All right, Bitcoin here still acting really well. Just below 69. Bullish inside bar on the daily pullback. It's holding up. Inverse head and shoulder target 74.5. I'm just going to say 75K. So I talked about this new all-time high projection and a week or two ago, and that's still in play. So no problems with Bitcoin. And I even kind of like what's going on with Coinbase. Like that falling wedge and then breakout, and you've got a little bull flag there on the daily. MSTR starting to firm up too. So Bitcoin miners are right. Again, spiders here holding up. So again, 5,300. Expect that to be pinned too for the next 20 minutes. And again, markets are hanging in there fine. We're not going to make too much out of it. Again, defer to the trend until proven otherwise. But I've got big plans here for this market. I think going to summertime, the more we base here, the more this is set up for a move. Just need that moving average to catch up the price, or we catch down to it and then we can bid off of it. As long as supports hold, this market should be okay. Anyways, guys, for more analysis like this, come find me on carnivoretrades.com. You guys have a great weekend. Take care, and I'll see you guys all on Tuesday.